Brandy from Brandy's Book World, and I am back today to show you what I got at this Scholastic Warehouse Sale. Okay, so 2 times a year, Scholastic Warehouse in Houston has a big sale, and they put all of their books on buy one, get one free. So I have actually made this like a biannual thing. And I take my earbuds and I put on my favorite playlists at the time. I go up and down every single aisle. I used to go with friends and other things, but I found that it is like the biggest therapy for me. It's a great time to do it right here at the beginning of the Christmas shopping season. It's usually like the first weekend in December. And then they also have one in May that I go to at the end of the school year, and that's almost just as therapeutic. So what I'm gonna do today is just show you what I got. I've got my festive reindeer reader sweater on that you can't see, but just know in spirit that I am totally loving the books that I got. And let me show you what I got as gifts first. So Peter Reynolds has this amazing book called The Word Collector. So this is about Jerome, and Jerome collects words that he uses, and they're amazing words. You can even see on the back like enhance and shimmer and spark. It's just a great book that we use in the classroom quite a bit, and one of my friends on Twitter commented and asked another friend if she could borrow it. So I picked her up a copy. She actually got me some cool macaroons for Halloween from the Sanderson sisters, and so I thought this would be a fun way to keep the gift giving going between each other. I also picked up Lab Girl because my sister-in-law graduated with her biology undergrad degree. I believe it was biology. I'm not that great of a sister-in-law. But this book, it says it was a New York Times notable book and one of the best books of the year by Washington Post, Time, NPR, Slate L, Entertainment Weekly, Newsday, and Minneapolis Star Tribune. And it just says geobiologist Hope Jaron has spent her life studying trees, flowers, seeds, and soil. Lab Girl is her revelatory treatise on plant life. So my sister-in-law is really into lots of wonderful things about biology. She studies up on medicine for her kiddos and all that kind of stuff. So I think I'm gonna give her this and a Starbucks gift card to go enjoy and drink some coffee with it. Let me go ahead and share the picture books that I bought. I actually didn't buy too many. I was trying to be really careful this year. I didn't want to like overspend, and I found that I actually buy books that I have double copies of, so then I have to end up unhauling them. And not that I don't love giving away books, it just, you know, time. So I am so excited to get Soul Away by Lupita Nyong'o. This is about colorism, this little girl, and just appreciating who she is in her beauty and her darker skin. The illustrations are absolutely beautiful. They're by Vashti Harrison, one of my favorite illustrators of all time. Look at that picture of Lupita on the back, it's beautiful. So just some of the pictures. So this is going to be a great review for our diversity book reviews on litsoulsisters.com. I will include it, a link to the website in the back, but I'm so excited to have that. It is a beautiful book, and I am so excited to watch it climb on all of the lists, hopefully. I also got Nerdy Birdie Tweets. This book, this is a second or third, it's a series. Nerdy Birdie is a series of picture books, but in this one, he's on his phone a lot. And so he starts to ignore his friends, and it becomes a problem. So I really like reading this for all ages, even adults, because sometimes, you know, you get your weekly reports and you're on your phone quite a bit. And so this just talks about how making sure that you're not on your phone instead of being in front of your friends and with your family at the dinner table, at lunch, and all of those other things. So it's a very timely book, and this has been on my Amazon wish list for years, so I was excited to find a copy. And And then the last book that I got, picture book, was The Great Santa Stakeout. And I'll be honest, the reason I got it was because I follow Betsy Bird and Santat on Twitter, and if you don't follow them on Twitter and you're a teacher or love children's literature, I highly suggest it. Right now, Dan Santat is taking pictures in this ugly sweater. He's taking pictures and photoshopping them everywhere in that sweater, and it is so funny. And so I love Twitter. I'm on Twitter. Make sure you follow me at ReaderLeaderBSA, and I'll link it below. But it's a great social media campaign that they've done, so I had to get the book. Another reason too is you're always trying to couple your books. So like I would keep them in the front of my cart until I found a match with the price. Since it was buy one get one free, you're really gonna maximize your savings if you make sure that you have 2 for $17.99, 2 for $18.99, and so forth. Let me show you the adult book I found. I think I only found one. This is called Committed, a love story, and the reason that I got it was because Elizabeth Gilbert is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, and this follows the story of her characters, Elizabeth and Philippe. So yes, I thought it would be really fun to just see where these characters end up. It says that at the end of Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth fell in love with Philippe, so now Philippe was unexpectedly kicked out of the United States by US immigration officials. So kind of maybe an updated version of what's going on in the world today. But I got this, it was a couple dollars, so hey. Alright, let me show you the middle grade books that I got. I got a copy of Clementine and the Spring Trip. I actually collect the Clementine books, and so I have her series. They're all signed by either Marla Frazee, the illustrator, or Sarah Pennypacker. I've met Marla a few times in Texas, and Sarah, I believe, has come once to the Texas Book Festival. So I was excited to have another book to add to my Clementine collection. This is a girl character. She's in late elementary, and then also I think it goes into middle school, and she just has some really common problems happening in her life. And so the students really like reading about this character, and her books are commonly on lots of reading lists that they have, like Name That Book competition in our district and Blue Bonnet and things of that sort. I got the fourth book in The Last Kids on the Earth. This is the Midnight Blade book. I got the other three. Let me go show you. I have the other three books in the series that I got at the last Scholastic Sale, and the reason I did that was because Max Brallier was coming to Houston. I did not get to see him. He came to an after-school event, so usually I can't make those because I work at a late school, but I'm excited to have the next one in the set. I was so excited to find a copy of Garvey's Choice by Nikki Grimes. I read this earlier this year and loved it. It felt like a mirror to me because in this book, Garvey is struggling with some of his emotional needs by overeating, and that has always been a trigger. For me, it's kind of one of my coping mechanisms to eat when I'm feeling excited and feeling down, and that's just kind of something that I do. But his dad wanted him to play, because he was a bigger kid, his dad wanted him to play football, but he wanted to sing in the choir, and I sang for like 15 years, all the way through college and professional, so this was a really good book for me. Nikki Grimes was touring like crazy with her autobiography, and she's got a picture book coming up, so she may be back on the road, and so I made sure I had a copy because they didn't have a copy at the Texas Book Festival when I met her, so I just had to take this really awkward picture with her, and she was like, you ain't buying my books but you want a picture? So that went well. I also got book number 7 in the Dogman series. This is a really funny series. Anything Dave Pilkey does is hysterical. He also did Captain Underpants, which you can find on Netflix now, the movie and the show, and he's just an awesome writer. Kids love his books. My nephew Ruben loves his books, so I always make sure that I get him a copy too. So when I stack them together, they're really heavy. But I'm excited to have all of the books in the series. See if I can fan them out. Not that great. But yeah, they're awesome. And I love this one is called For Whom the Ball Rolls, which connects with For Whom the Bell Tolls. And so I always love when they're kind of adding those adult literature pieces into kid books. It just helps us connect in an even more deeper way. One of my bells came off. Dogman. Dogman killed one of my bells. Dang it. Alright, another middle grade book I got is Beverly Right Here. It's actually second in a series. If you notice, this copy, Louisiana's Way Home, but it takes on Beverly's story in the book. So I'm excited to have the second one. Anything Kate DiCamillo writes is gold. I just love her book so much, and I mean, these covers are just beautiful. So I'm excited to have the next book in that series. I also got the second book in the Enleen series. This is by Catherine Applegate, another amazing writer that writes gold in every single story, but this is more of a fantasy book, which I love. And so this is the first book in the series that I got at the last Scholastic sale, and here's book 2. So I'm excited to have both of these. I also got the 4th book in the series of The Descendants by De La Cruz. This is Escape from the Isle of the Lost. Say that 10 times fast. Escape from the Isle of the Lost. And so it just says something wicked is coming. These always tie back to fairy tales, and of course Disney is just magical. What is her first name? Melissa. Melissa de la Cruz is a good author. I've read her in a couple of different genres and stories. She puts out some great novels. She even did like a Hamilton YA version, so all of her books are really good, and I will have the 4th. I don't have the series with me. I'm not getting up. I'm getting tired of getting all my books out. My shelves are falling. So yes, book number 4. I also got Era Shaw's next book. This is a Ralph Riordan Diversity series. This is the first book I got. I think I got it at Sam's Club a long time ago. The cover is beautiful, and again, these Rick Riordan Diversity Voice books are all amazing. So I'm excited to have the second one. This is called Era Shaw and the Song of Death. So Rashani Chokshi has put out 2 books now, and she's a great author, also one that you will find on Twitter, I believe. And so yes, I'm excited to continue on in this series. Alright, let me show you a couple of YA books I got. They Called Us Enemy by George Takei. I saw him last month at NCTE's national conference, and I was unable to meet him. There were just so many people who wanted to meet him, and so I let them. I'm not big on waiting in like hours of lines to meet people. He's just an amazing person, and I'm excited. This is about the Japanese concentration camps during World War II. There are different names for them. Educational camps is what we're calling them out of China right now, but he is talking about how when we gather a group of people up because of their race, gender, or any other contributing factor, that is called, they are imprisoned. And so this was, I believe they called it, I can't remember what our history books call it, obviously not concentration camps, but his point in his speech was they were concentration camps. You have concentrated a group of people and stripped them of their rights. So I thought it was really interesting, and you know, I went to read this book. It is not color, but I think that will, you know, most likely add to the characteristic of the story as well. I found the second book of the Warcross series called Wild Card. This matches this beautiful book. I mean, Marie Lu just puts out the most amazing books. They're always really action-packed. I know this one kind of deals with some themes for futuristic, which, you know, always ties back into what's happening now. So I'm excited to have this pair now that I can read together. I'm not really good about waiting long periods of time, so if I know that books are gonna have sequels and it's gonna be a series, I usually wait. Speaking of that, I got The Toll, the third and final book in Neil Shusterman's Scythe series. It looks like this. The first book, super popular by everybody. So I have Thunderhead. In fact, I have it sitting in a stack of books that I want to do a video on. However, I am so excited. Look at that beast. But I have it, yay! So I'm excited that I can now read the whole series and be done and get through it. And I did hear there was a little bit of like fat shaming in there, where they are kind of talking about people who are bigger and how it's kind of less desirable or something like that. So I'm not racing to read it, but I do want to read it. And the last book I got is After the Shot Drops by Randy Rebay. He also spoke at NCTE, but at an event after the conference, so I didn't get to see him, but his speech is on Twitter, and it was just magical, talking about how we need to move forward in kid literature and with high school reading and as a society. So I was really excited, and when they scanned this book at the bookshop, they said it had adult material. So I do know that this has something to do with a boy, I believe African American, who gets shot. But yeah, I've heard his writing is really powerful, so I'm excited to dive into this. And then the last thing I purchased was a book club portion of Let Out by Angela Cervantes. Angela Cervantes is an amazing author. She is local. She's always in Texas doing wonderful things, but this is about a girl and her first language is Spanish, but she likes to take her time putting words together. I work with students who have just arrived to the US, helping them learn English and living in Houston. Many of them are from Mexico and or Spanish speakers, and so I want to make sure that we have representation in our book club. So I'm excited to have this. When I saw that they were $2 and it was buy one get one free, they were $1 each, so yay. Alright friends, that's all I have. That's all the books that I bought at the Scholastic Warehouse Sale in December, and it was just a fantastic 3 hours of my life, but I did pretty good. I only got one box this time. Sometimes I usually have a couple, so it worked out for me. I got some great books. If you have a book that you loved that I showed, I hope you will comment below and let me know which ones you loved. If you saw a couple books that you didn't love, let me know, because I can move those down on my TBR. My TBR to scroll it is ridiculous. So if you like this video or liked the books that I got, give it a thumbs up, and make sure to click the subscribe button if you'd like to see other book hauls. And hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye! I just can't make that work.